I want to slightly more substantively address the Republican primary polling that's out there right now. I got a handful of emails from people in the audience, nice people like you, who said, David, I see that Trump's winning a bunch of polls and DeSantis is winning a couple. This is the primary polling, of course. Does this really matter at this point in time? And that's more or less exactly the right question that should be asked. In other words, the critical questions are, how accurate are presidential primary polls in March of the year before the election? And secondly, is there something special this time around that might make polling more or less relevant, regardless of how accurate polling tends to be at this point in an election cycle? So let's go through this step by step. First of all, it remains the case that Trump is ahead of DeSantis in most 2024 primary polling. And the higher rated the pollster, generally speaking, the more Trump seems to be winning by. We'll look at a couple of examples here. The latest poll is from Quinnipiac University. That's an A- rated pollster, a very good pollster. They have Trump plus 11 against DeSantis in a head-to-head matchup, and Trump plus 14 against DeSantis in a multi-way matchup. That trend is holding in basically every poll, which is Trump does better against DeSantis when there are more options. Why? Well, because Nikki Haley takes a little more from DeSantis than she does from Trump. And Pence takes a little more from DeSantis than Trump. And so what you get is when you include more candidates, Trump is winning by more. Morning Consult poll, a multi-way poll, has Trump plus 24 over DeSantis. That's a B- rated pollster. And then you have the CNN's SSRS poll. That's a C+ rated pollster. That one does have DeSantis plus 2 against Trump in a multi-way race. It also gives Pence 6, which is, I don't know that I believe Mike Pence has 6% support right now, but this is the whole point of looking at a variety of polls. And then you look at an A- rated PPP poll from roughly a week ago. And that one has Trump plus 8 in a head-to-head matchup and Trump plus 18 in a multi-way matchup. Great. So today's polling, Trump generally doing better than DeSantis. The more candidates there are, the better Trump does. Fine. The next question is, how accurate is not the right word. How reliably does the leader in these polls in March of the year before the primary end up actually winning the primary? Or to put it another way, is it normal that whoever is leading in March of the year before ends up being the nominee? And the answer is, it's not that common. Or to put it a different way, it's pretty common that whoever's winning at this point doesn't actually end up winning. I'll give you some examples. If you look at the polling from the Republican primary in 2016, meaning March of 2015, Trump was not winning in March of 2015, and he was ultimately the nominee in 2016. Barack Obama was not winning in March of 2007, but he was eventually the Democratic nominee in 2008. Rudy Giuliani was leading in March of 2007. He was not the 2008 Republican nominee. It was, of course, the late John McCain. So there are many such examples like this. So the part 2 of our investigation is, it's really common that winning in March of the year before doesn't really tell us who's eventually going to win. And then we get to the third part of the question. Is there something special or different this time around that might make all of this stuff very, very different or particularly irrelevant? And the answer is yes, sort of. It is not typical that you have running in a contested primary a candidate who was previously the president, lost re-election, and is then running again. That's not normal. And so I'll tell you right up front, I have no idea what the impact of that would be on the accuracy of polling data in terms of being reflective of the eventual outcome in March of 2023 for a 2004 election. So that, in my mind, is the full story. We've considered all the factors. What is the polling? How much does polling at this point in time matter? And are there special circumstances affecting this election? The answer being yes. That's the totality of the polling story. And with that context, we can now evaluate future polls. If you're like me and you love the nostalgia of enjoying a bowl of cereal sometimes as an adult, check out our sponsor, Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is the breakfast cereal with the crunchy, sweet goodness you love, but with 0 grams of sugar, more protein, and only 4 to 5 net carbs. So it's perfect if you're doing low carb, if you're doing keto, if you're like me and you just don't want to eat a bunch of sugar. Magic Spoon has delicious flavors to choose from: cocoa, fruity, frosted peanut butter, honey nut, cinnamon roll, birthday cake. My favorite is maple waffle. And right now they have limited edition spring flavors, strawberry milkshake, and peaches and cream. Sometimes you just feel like sitting down with a bowl of cereal. When the mood strikes, go for something with plenty of protein without all the sugar. If you don't love Magic Spoon as much as I do and our team does, Magic Spoon will refund all of your money, no questions asked. Go to magicspoon.com/Pacman, create a custom bundle, use the code Pacman for $5 off. The link is down below.